y'all, welcome to a new video. I am super excited to talk about all the books that I read in the month of September. This was a manga filled month for me because I ended up reading 17 books and 8 of those were manga novels. So before you go crazy and are like, how do you have that much time in the day? They were manga novels, okay? That's why. So 17 books equaled out to 4,691 pages. If you look at mood, I had 14 labeled adventurous, 12 labeled emotional, and 11 labeled as tense. Thank you as always to Storygraph for existing, because without Storygraph, I would not have this data. Page number, I had 10 that were under 300 pages and 7 that were between 300 and 500 pages. Genre, I had 12 fantasy, 8 manga, 7 romance. And then star rating, I had an average star rating of 3.94. I had 3 2 stars, I had 3 3 stars, 3 4 stars, and then 8 5 stars. They were all manga novels, okay? All the 5 stars were manga novels. I'm gonna tell you that right now. Getting into the first book that I read, however, I reread 5 Broken Blades from my Corland. This is the first book in the Broken Blade series. I gave this reread 2 stars because I don't like this book. I can't, like, it's so hard. Okay, listen. I wanted to reread it because I want to finish the trilogy. The third and final book came out several months ago and I was like, I don't remember any of these characters. This book has been labeled and sold to me as like a Walmart version of Six of Crows. And I would agree with that. It's not as well written as Six of Crows, and I don't like many of the characters, whereas with Six of Crows, I liked every single character. This is the story of 5 people who have been tasked with killing the king, and they kind of come together, decide together that they would all work better together to kill the king together. So we have like an assassin, we have a thief, we have someone with magic, we have a prince who has been exiled. There's just a bunch of people that all come together. I don't think that we spent enough time with each character to actually like any of them. And then the ones that I feel like we spend a lot of time with, like Mikkel and the prince, I can't remember his name, I hated both of them. Like, I don't like either of them, and I feel like they get the most screen time. And then a lot of the relationships are supposed to be like enemies to lovers-esque, but it's incredibly insta-loveys. One of them already always has loved the other person, and then it takes the other person like 2 chapters to fall in love with them. So it's not my favorite kind of writing, but I wanted to reread it because I wanted to finish the series. Next, I read Emily Wilde's Map of the Otherlands. This is by Heather Fawcett. This is the second book in the Emily Wilde series. I gave this one 4 stars because I love Emily Wilde's world. I love the world that Heather Fawcett has created with Emily Wilde, and I would love to read so many more of her books. I think my review was even like, I could read 8 more of these, because Emily Wilde could just go on as many adventures as she wants to within the fairylands, and I will eat it up. I had such a fun time being in this world. I wanted to go on hikes while I was reading this. I was like, I need to be outside. I need to go look for fairies myself, honestly. The adventure just never stops with Emily Wilde, and I can't remember the boy's name. Wendell. Okay, Wendell is her co-worker slash boyfriend. I don't know. I don't want to say too much, but it's so cute the way that he's so down bad for her and takes care of her and like takes care of business for her. I loved it. Okay, getting into the manga novels, we're going to talk about them all at once. I read volumes 32 through 39 of My Hero Academia because the new season started. I am 1 episode in. We are 1 episode in when only 1 episode has been released, and I had to catch up. So I read 8 novels in 1 month, and I love the series so much, and it gets crazy and it goes so hard, and I just like can't believe the things that are happening right now in the series, because I'm on volume 41 at this point. There's only 1 more left. It ends at 42, and the season's only going to be 11 episodes allegedly, so it's just, I don't want the series to end. This is the only anime slash manga I have ever cared about like this ever, and I just am so torturous over the ending of this. It's gonna be, it already has been the most heartbreaking thing I've ever witnessed in my life. The story, the manga, the characters, the whole atmosphere of the world is by Kohei Horikoshi, and these all get 5 stars. These are the only 5 stars I had of the month. It's just the story as a whole is so perfect. I cannot give less than 5 stars, sincerely, to any of the volumes. Okay, next I read Shatter Me by Tahereh Mafi. This is the first book in the Shatter Me series, and I gave this one 3 stars. I am in the middle of editing. Hopefully by the time you see this, it might be out. I don't actually know what I have scheduled. If I have this video scheduled out first, or the Shatter Me Consuming Series episode 1 video scheduled first, but regardless, I have a series coming out for the Shatter Me series, where in the first episode I will be going over the first 3 books, and then in the second episode I will be going over 4, 5, and 6 of the series, as well as the novellas. The novellas are in both episodes as well. This is a series about a girl who has a power, kind of what has been seen as an evil power, that she kind of like sucks the life out of people. Like if she touches someone, skin to skin contact, she will end their life, completely take their life away from them. And so she has been put into a detention facility that has just kept her away from society because she's just too dangerous to deal with. Well, she gets broken out of jail basically, and she is kind of recruited to work for a society of people who have powers just like her. And the series has pretty good character development. I wouldn't say it's great character development. As of today, I'm 3 books deep and like 2 novellas deep into it. And I will say, just for the first book right here, because I go way more in depth in the video, if you want to know my thoughts and opinions on the Shatter Me series, go watch that video. I'll have it linked down below if it's already out. I do like the idea and the thought that this girl has never had human contact. Like she has never been able to touch someone and not hurt them. And then she's able to meet someone or 2 people who she can now touch, and just like the importance and earnestness of human touch and how detrimental that is for your own psyche and mental health and wellness is very apparent and very real in the book. That's something that I truly wholeheartedly believe, is that like human touch is probably the best healer of all. And this book really hounds in that fact and that concept. Like once she has someone that she can touch, the way that it makes her feel and heal, I think is very real and realistic, and I like the books for that aspect. So that was Shatter Me, 3 stars. I go more in depth in the video. I'm not going to talk about it much more. Next, I read Fan Service by Rosie, Danan. I gave this one 4 stars. I had so much fun with this book. Okay, if you are a fandom girly, if you have ever been part of a fandom at any point in your life, especially if you are still a fandom girly today, if it's something that has never left your brain or your whole personality or being like me, this is a great romance book for you. Okay, we have our main character. She was the mod for a Teen Wolf-esque kind of TV show that she watched when she was a teenager, about this kid who turns into a werewolf, and then he has like a vampire friend, and he's like doing all this stuff with like the werewolf clan, I don't know, but she loved the TV show growing up, and she became a mod, or the mod, for the main wiki page. When she's like 14 or 15, she gets the chance to go meet the main character at like a Comic-Con type thing, and she's dressed up really nerdy, really geeky as like one of the characters from the TV show, and she overhears him. What does he say? He says something like, "That girl's a loser and she's never gonna find love." Like he was having a bad day, but he did not need to say all that, okay? The image of him just completely cracked in her mind. Like he is no longer this dreamboat, like the love of my life. Like he has insulted me at this point and I can't go on like this. So time goes on, a lot of time goes on. She's like in her 30s, he's in his 40s at this point, and he finds himself turning into a werewolf. And who does he go to for help but the mod of the Wikipedia page of the show that he starred in as a teenager? And so they meet up. He doesn't know that they've ever met before, but she is more than willing to help him because he's gonna pay her, and she just thinks it's funny, I guess. It was such a good book. It was spicy and cute and funny, and it was nice to see a romance novel with older people in it. The older I get, the less and less I want to read about love between a 19-year-old and a 20-year-old. I really appreciated the age representation in this book, I can't lie. And like I said, if you are just a fandom girly in any way, if you are a fan fiction girly in any way, like this is the book for you. Like you are gonna get so many references, it's gonna be fun, and it's also like it's the dream, right? Like what if your man, like what if your ultimate book boyfriend, what if your ultimate TV show man, like, or woman, like any of it, like what if they suddenly, like what if you started kissing them? Like what if they needed your help for something and you guys found each other like slowly falling in love with each other? Like, oh my god, that would be, I'm not gonna say that would be my dream, but I am blushing a little bit just thinking about it. That was a great 4-star book. Next I read Destroy Me, which is the novella 1.5 of the Shatter Me series from Tahereh Mafi. This is from one of the boys' perspective because the Shatter Me series is like a love triangle, and so one of the boys' perspective, it's his novella. I'm not going to talk about it here, go watch the video. And then right after that I read Unravel Me, which is book 2 in the Shatter Me series. This one I ended up giving 4 stars. What did I like about it? Wait, I gotta remember it now. Okay, this one was pretty cool because we get a lot more development with the person that she's supposed to end up with, and we kind of fall out of love with the other person, which I liked because I did not like the other person. And I do remember the end of the second book being really good because she's finally strong enough to stand up and rise up and know what her place in this new society is going to be, and she's just kind of like, bring it on. Like, she has seen enough destruction and been hurt enough by the reestablishment, which is like this evil government that we're dealing with in the dystopian YA novel. She's had so much of enough that she's ready to rise up and be the strong leader for everyone, and I thought that the ending of that was really good, so I guess I give it 4 stars. And then I read For Ruined Realms. This is the second book in the Broken Blade series by my Corland. I gave this one 2 stars because it just wasn't good. It just wasn't. Like, I will say a character that I hated died, and I really liked that. I was like, good, I don't need you here anymore. And then I don't like some of the pairings. Some of the pairings, like my favorite girl in the book, the guy that she's supposed to end up with, I think she deserves to be with someone else who's in the story. There are a lot of reveals to these books. I will say it is very plot twisty, you know, like you find out that someone is another child of the king and they've been like doing undercover work this whole time. You find out that some people's magic is slowly depleting their life and they might be dying by the end of the book. I think that like the surprise and intrigue is there. Like, the best way I can describe these books, honestly, it's like the kind of series that you want to read when you don't have a lot of energy or brain power. Like, say you're sick and you've already watched the 5-hour BBC Pride and Prejudice, like what do you do now? Read the Broken Blades trilogy. Like, it's there for you to be able to enjoy in that moment. But I don't see myself ever buying these books. I don't see myself even recommending them outside of it's a good sick day in bed read. I still have yet to read the third one. I just got it from the Libby app. Actually, I literally downloaded it last night. So hopefully I can get into that and I will read it this month and I'll report back on how I liked the end of the series. After For Ruined Realms, I read the second novella in the Shatter Me series. This one's called Fracture Me, and this one is the other boy's POV. And I think that this one was actually really important. I gave it 3 stars because we got a lot of information that fully supplemented the third book. Whereas with the first novella, I didn't get enough. Like, I felt like I was just listening to a whiny boy cry the whole time. But then with the second novella, with the other boy's perspective, we get a lot more information. And like I said, it was just so much more smoother and easier to go into the third book with this novella on hand. And in fact, I would almost say that you would do yourself a disservice to go from the second book to the third book without reading the novella between the two, because of how much good information it gives you to prepare you for the third book. All right, and then the final book I read this month, last month, I read Great Big Beautiful Life by Emily Henry, and I gave this one 3 stars. This is the first Emily Henry book I've ever read, and I would be open to reading more from her. What this book is about is we have our 2 main characters, and they are both fighting for a job. The job is to tell the story, basically write the biography, the book, for this woman who, she's kind of like a lost socialite. Like, she was really big in Hollywood, she has a really rich family, she married a very famous country star, and then like people started dying around her. She was dealt with a lot of controversy, and then at some point she just disappeared. She just went away and hid for like 40 years, and so no one has ever heard from her. No one knows her life story. She doesn't do interviews, but now she's ready to do a book, and she has these 2 people, a boy and a girl, who are both journalists, to compete for who's going to tell the story, right? And they just kind of end up falling in love along the way. There is a big plot twisty moment in the book that I thought was pretty cool. I didn't see it coming. And overall, like, it was good. You know, it was 3 stars. 3 stars is a good book. I wouldn't say, like, I would never buy it. It did not make me go, oh, I can't wait to read another Emily Henry book. It wasn't like my favorite kind of romance even, but like it was something to read while I was on the treadmill, and like I can't hate that. So yeah, those were all the books that I read last month. A lot of them, like I said, were the manga novels, but I only have 2 left to go, and then I will be done with the series, and I can't believe that. I have 1 book left in the Broken Blade series, and then I will have a series finished, 2 series finished with the My Hero Academia series, and that's so cool because I'm so bad at finishing series, guys. I keep meaning to make a series of videos where I tackle all of the series that I'm currently in the middle of, but it's just so daunting, so I have not been able to do that yet. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching this video, especially if you are a returning subscriber clicking on another video of mine. That's so awesome and cool of you. Thank you so much for the support. I really do love and appreciate it. Let me know in the comments below if you've read any of these books and what you thought about them. I would love to know your thoughts on the Shatter Me series, but I would ask that you go to the Shatter Me series video and leave those comments under that one, regardless whether you do it or not. Thank you again so much for watching this video. If you are not subscribed to me and you would like to be, go ahead and click that button so you don't miss any book or movie content coming from my channel. Sorry, I'm like running out of breath right here. My throat is so dry. Give this video a like if you liked it. All of my social media are in the description box below, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!